I'm honestly not even sure where to begin. Hey friends, it's Just the Gems. I'm Brandon, and I feel weird about this one. I'm somebody that typically is a defender of games published by Fudio. They tend to be a punching bag in the games criticism space because of certain perceptions of lack of quality in some of their titles. And while I typically can see where people are coming from when they're critical of certain Fudio games, I always tend to find a core of goodness that I can really hold on to and actually appreciate for what it is. I don't know that that's possible for me with Exstetra. Let me back up a minute. So generally speaking, I believe that video games are art. And in order to create art, for an artist to bring a piece of art into the world, it's necessary for that artist to have some kind of passion, to have something that they need to say or need to express somehow to an audience. Without that sort of need, that sort of desire in a creator, with a video game, all you have is a collection of systems, a collection of numbers, some graphics, right? I don't even feel like it's necessarily art then. It's just kind of graphics, right? With Exstetra, I honestly have never felt so little passion from a game. It's like the creators of the game didn't really care. Here's what it's like. To me, it feels like sort of a final project for a class in school, right? So the teacher hands out the assignment. For your final project, here's what you have to do. You have to create a video game. And the teacher gives the rubric to all the students. The students look at the rubric, and it has a whole bunch of things that it needs to include in order to get a passing grade, right? It has turn-based combat written there, weapons, armor, magic, characters, a story, right? It has all of those things. It checks all of those boxes, but there was no attempt to go above and beyond the barest of necessity. Right? This is a game that checks the boxes, but doesn't have any artistic soul to it. There's nothing behind the checked items. There's nothing there. There's no soul. I really do try, you guys. Like, if you've watched my channel for a while, you know that even when a game doesn't hit for me, I am typically able to dig in and find something that I can appreciate. And even if I don't find something to appreciate, I find things that, using just the basic ability to empathize with other people, find things that I think other people might appreciate. And I say, well, this wasn't necessarily for me, but I can see if people who like this sort of thing, they might enjoy this game. I can't get there with this one, you guys. I really can't. And I kind of feel bad about it because I don't like just criticizing art in this way. Because even though I think it's a failure at what it's trying to do, I do think it's still an artistic expression, even though I feel like it's devoid of soul. It's maybe a more cynical expression of art than I would typically engage with. I don't know. I don't know what the goal was. I don't know the creators. I don't know what they were thinking or trying to achieve with this. All I know is that I played 90 minutes of Exstetra. So to be clear, I'm reviewing this game. I have not played the full game. I played 90 minutes and I could not play anymore. I couldn't. I had to put it down. I had to put it away. So this is not a full review. So if you have played this game and you love it and you got farther than I did, maybe you beat it, and there are reasons why you think this is worthwhile, please let me know in the comments. Tell me what it is about it that you like. Tell everyone what it is about it that you like it, because I can really only speak to the first 90 minutes. I have nothing to say beyond that, unfortunately. Let me just break down some of the basic elements, some of these boxes that they checked when they were making this game. There is a story. There is a story in Exstetra, and Exstetra is so hard. It feels like people mispronouncing Extetra. I have such a hard time saying it. Even harder time spelling it. There's an X and an S and a T all back to back in there. Anyway, the story. There is a story. It is fairly generic isekai, sort of chosen hero sort of thing. Your main character is a high school boy. He gets pulled into another world, and he's the magical chosen one who is given a sword by his sort of stoic guide, Celine. She's, very monotone in the way of certain anime characters that people find appealing for some reason. No emotion. It's very stereotypical. There's nothing interesting in the first 90 minutes, nothing interesting about Celine. Honestly, nothing interesting about any of the characters. You get two other characters, or I encountered two other characters who joined my party within that first 90 minutes. A girl who seems to like the main character, maybe, you know, crushing a little bit, and a boy who just seems like he's there. He's just along for the ride. Nobody in the party, including the main character, seems all that upset about being isekai'd into another world and having to face horrible monsters. And I mean, that's basically the plot. They need to defeat these big evil monsters to save this other world, and then thereby save their world, because the worlds are merging. It's a basic kind of straightforward isekai plot. In the first 90 minutes, there was literally nothing that hooked me. If the hook comes later, let me know when the hook comes, so that people that maybe want to try this game out know how long they need to push through to find the hook. I did not experience the hook myself. Oh, you know what? I've kind of buried the lead on this too, because the unique aspect of this game, the thing that people know it as, is the kissing JRPG. It has a kissing mechanic, which is, I think, supposed to be shocking. It's supposed to be like, whoa, I can't believe they went there, right? But it's just kind of nothing. I don't know. The concept is that your main character has this power to unlock power in other people, but he has to kiss them to do it. And so kissing them once kind of bestows upon them their abilities, and then if they want to use special abilities, they need to kiss again. You know, you get big full color anime portraits of the characters smooching, and that's part of the battle system. You have a timed button pressing sort of thing where you fill up a meter and release the button, and that powers up your attack, and you can kiss multiple times if you want to layer on extra power to your kissing move. It's nothing. It's nothing. The fact that that is the thing that this game is known for, I think will tell you something if you've experienced it, because there's just nothing else to say about it. This is the only thing that really makes it stand out. And I feel like I'm getting worked up. I'm not mad. I'm sad. I'm disappointed, because like I said in the past, reviewing video games, playing them, I have always found something to love. And I really did try, but I was having such an unpleasant experience with it that I had to stop. I just had to. One thing that I found interesting is in the options menu, you can turn off the kissing, but they let you turn it off. You can turn off the male kissing or the female kissing sequences, or both, if you want to turn off both. So if you're not interested in seeing a boy kiss a girl, or if you're not interested in seeing a boy kiss a boy, because he's an equal opportunity kisser in this game. He will kiss anybody and everybody. But if you don't want to see that, you can turn that off. They're open to both kinds of nasty people. So good, I guess. Is that woke? I don't know. I don't think it's woke. The music sounds like a bunch of sound effects. I have a musical background. If you've seen my channel, maybe you've heard some of the music on the channel. Maybe you hate it, but if you did, it's probably music that I wrote. And so, I come from a musical background. I play music. I'm in a band. Been in a band for 20 years. So I enjoy music in games. I like digging in. The music in this game sounds like sound effects. It doesn't feel melodic. The music that I heard, again, only played for 90 minutes, only been to 3 different locations. So maybe there's some beautiful pieces in here that I just didn't encounter. But the sound effects that kind of make up the score, especially of the first major dungeon that you go to, at least one of those sound effects sounds like a fart. It sounds like a fart. And I'm like, was that intended? That seems like a mistake. That seems like somebody should have caught that and been like, that sounds like a fart. Maybe change that? I don't know. Anyway, the music, from my experience, 90 minutes, not good. The graphics are bad. They're bad. This is an older game, and it was originally a 3DS game. So you might be tempted to give it some leeway, because, with a 3DS game, you're talking about a handheld system. You're talking quite a while ago, 9 years, something like that. It's been a long time. It's been a long time since this game initially came out, only in Japan. This is the first time it's come west. But the graphics are bad. Simple 3D models, really terrible animation, very subpar as far as all the animations in combat. In no way will you find it impressive. There's no art design to it. It feels like pieces of anime, just like basic, kind of nondescript generic anime. Like if you looked anime up in a dictionary and they had a picture, that's what they would use to demonstrate this is anime, right? This is what it is. The characters are all very straightforward, basic. There's nothing really interesting about their designs. The environments themselves they're just so subpar. And then that's the thing is like, okay, yeah, it's a 3DS game originally. And then they didn't go in and redo the graphics for this re-release on modern platforms and in the West. They didn't go in and remake the game, right? They just kind of up-res everything. And that's fine. I wouldn't even care. If there were other things to like about the game, I wouldn't even care. I would talk about the graphics being bad and I would kind of brush it off and move on. But like, there's nothing here to enjoy. The environments you run around in just look so dull and lifeless. The first area you're in is a forest, should be teeming with life. There's nothing lively about the environments at all. And they are large and boring to run around in. The first dungeon, it's a game with random battles too, so you understand as you're running around these dull environments, you are frequently getting into random battles and having to engage with the combat. I guess I'll talk about the combat. Maybe is this leaning positive? I don't hate the combat in theory, but again, it's just very check the box sort of standard basic stuff, right? It's turn-based combat. The one thing that's maybe sort of interesting about it is enemies team have 3 rows. Most games, if they have rows, will only have 2, and it's possible to knock characters back or whatever. I didn't play enough to see how the battle system might fully evolve into something bigger that utilizes these 3 rows. It does seem that when you defeat a row of enemies, that your characters will advance forward and then thereby decrease the number of rows that the enemy has accessible to them. That seems like there could be something strategic there. I didn't get to it. I didn't experience it, so I can't say for sure how that might apply, how that, might benefit the game in any way. But it seems like there's something there. So if you have played more of this game than I have, could you please let us know down in the comments how the battle system evolves as you progress and as you get more party members? How does that affect the strategy? How does defeating certain enemies and moving them around affect how you play the battles? I would be really curious to know, because I feel like that's the closest that I can come to something positive to say about Exstetra. Is that's an interesting sort of idea. Other games have done similar things, and that's fine. I think, JRPGs and other genres, they borrow from each other all the time. That's very normal, and I think that's a good idea, actually, to borrow good ideas from other games and incorporate them into what you're making. So, yeah, but as far as the combat goes, my experience with it, very standard turn-based. Enemies are maybe a little hardier than I would like, as far as just, especially with how frequently the battles are happening. You're spending more time in battle than I would want to, especially given like the aesthetics of the battle are so unpleasing. The animations, like jumping to attack an enemy, is just like the character just kind of almost floats over there. Like there's very little done on the animation side to make it appealing. And, like I said, the environments are already dull. The monster designs are nothing special. We're talking giant spiders, walking trees, like nothing that's going to rock your world, nothing that's going to shake you and make you quake with fear at these terrifying monsters. I got to, I guess, the first big boss in the game, and I got absolutely trounced by him. I tried several times to defeat this boss. The first time, I actually thought, you know what? I think that I made some strategic mistakes here, and that says something about the game. Like I felt like it wasn't necessarily unfair. I thought, I made some mistakes. I made some errors in the things that I chose to do. I'm gonna try again and not make those mistakes, and I should be able to beat it. No, I made better moves all around, and I don't think I really got any closer to beating the boss. And I tried again and tried to up my strategy even more, and I don't think I got any closer to beating. I think I got it down to maybe a third of his health or something. but I was in no way close to being able to defeat this guy. And that's the point that I had to stop, because if this game is going to do so little to hook me, if it's going to value my time so little that it's not going to give me anything to hold on to, then I am not going to give it grind time. I will grind in games that I'm hooked by. I don't love grinding. I've said before, it's to me, it's evidence of like a design mistake if you're having to grind, because the game is just not properly balanced if that's the case. So yeah, I mean, I couldn't. I was like, I would be doing myself a disservice if I did any grinding to advance past this boss, because I've already seen how little there is here for me. I'm a positive person. I've been criticized for being too positive of a person, and I'm not trying to make a nasty review to get clicks. Like, this is not a popular game. I don't, it's not like a big headline maker. I don't think 1 billion people are going to watch this video because I clearly don't like it. That's not what it's about. I feel like I wanted to put this out because I hope that Foodie understands that they do have supporters out here in the West. I don't know how their reputation is in Japan. Maybe it's better, but I know that they're aware of their reputation. Like, oh, it's a Foodie game. That's going to be subpar or whatever. And they're working on fixing that. I get that, and I applaud that. But I do want them to know that, like, there are people out here like me and others who appreciate what they are often trying to do in the games they release. They're lower budget games, but they bring in some banger developers that want to take an idea that maybe was too small to work at a bigger developer that they might work at normally. Like Kazushige Nojima coming over to work on Reinatus with Foodie. Like, I love Nojima's, I love his writing, and I got a Kazushige Nojima game from Foodie. And I think that's great. A lot of people didn't care for Reinatus. I think it's great. I think it's a good game. I want Foodie to know there are people out here who support the games you make. I think this was a mistake. I don't think Exstetra needs to be brought back into the light. I don't know how it did in Japan on the 3DS. If it did better review-wise, in Japan and at the time that it came out. Maybe as a handheld game, seeing something in full 3D like that was appealing in a way that playing it on Steam in 2026 just isn't. That's entirely possible. I'm not saying that it's impossible for you, the viewer, to like this game. If you're watching the footage that I've shown in this review, and you think that I'm bonkers for not liking the game, maybe you've watched enough of my videos to know that your taste is the opposite of mine. If you know that to be the case, then I would say give it a try, because maybe you'll like it. I don't know. But that's where I'm at with this one. I support and love Foodie and the work that they do. I think this game was a mistake. I don't think it has the soul that their other games do, and that I think games in general need in order to be like truly good artistic works. And if that makes me sound pretentious, that's me. That's just me. Can't help it. That's who I am. So in conclusion, Exstetra doesn't just suck. It sucks face. I can't take credit for that joke. I got to that joke from Emily, Morbology, a friend of mine. Good joke, solid joke, and I wanted to slip it in there. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this review was interesting. If you do check out the game, let me know what you think of it. And if you are a defender, like if you've played this game and you actually do really love it, I'm not gonna judge you. I don't, that's fine. Like, people have different tastes, people like different things. Maybe you saw the soul in this game that I didn't see. If that's true, if that's the case, let me know down in the comments what you liked about it, why you liked it. I think it's good to get more perspectives on this sort of thing, especially with a very negative review. And this is probably the most negative review I've ever given a game in my entire life. Is it the worst game I've ever played? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. It's in the running. It's in the running. That's where I'm at. But let me know what you think about it down in the comments. Again, thanks for watching. Check out my podcast, JRPG Pursuit. We talk about JRPGs every single week. The link for that is down in the description. Okay. Now, see you later.